Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about the most important topics on economy which you need to revise in the last week. Okay, I can tell you all the questions from the economy sections in the prelims examination will come from this discussion. That is my guarantee, guys. So let us see what all we need to revise. I will make this video very analytical, and from the very first section of the syllabus till the last section of the syllabus, including the economic survey, I will list down the topics, and I'll also give little bit points so that you can know that how to prepare these topics and what kind of questions can be expected from these topics, guys. So let us begin. Okay, so let us see from the first chapter, national income accounting, what kind of questions can we expect. So we can see here, okay, one type of question which can expect is the GDP growth rate. And in that GDP growth rate, you can also expect a question on agriculture GDP growth rate. See, in the last 2 years, if we see, among all the sectors of economy, agriculture has been performing. Because of the corona, what was there? There was a lockdown, and because of the lockdown, other sectors of economy, particularly the industry and some parts of services sector also were not performing well. However, the agriculture sector was performing really well, and you must be surprised that in this period of corona, the share of agriculture has increased in the total share of the GDP. Okay, it has reached up to 20%. So I am expecting a question on the share of agriculture, or the agriculture growth rate, or the GDP growth rate. Okay, the trend, because UPSC has asked many a times question on GDP growth rate, the trend of the GDP growth rate. So you can expect question on GDP growth rate, the trend, or the share of agriculture GDP, it is increasing, it is decreasing. So guys, in the last 2 years, I can tell you that the share of the GDP of agriculture in the entire GDP has been increasing. So questions can be framed on that, guys. Okay, let us see the next topic. The next topic which is important, guys, is the base effect. The base effect is the effect which is because of the prices, change in prices of the previous year compared to this year. So base effect is very important, guys. Question can come on the concept of base effect. Okay, guys, let us see next topic. Next topic is the IIP and the core industry. Okay, IIP and the core industry, question can come, who comes out with the IIP data, or what is core industry, what comes under the core industry, what is the contribution of each of the segments of the core industry. Question can come from that. Then guys, what question can come from this chapter is the concept of recession. Okay, and in the concept of recession, they can ask you what is meaning of recession, or what are the factors which are leading to recession, guys. And related to a recession, there is a concept called stagflation. Stagflation means what? Stagnation plus inflation. Stagflation is a peculiar economic situation where we have stagnation of the economy or decline of the economy, plus there is a high inflation. So stagflation, guys, can come. Very important concept. I am keeping it very important. I am crossing it. Very important. Okay, here also agri GDP, very important. Okay, guys, so recession is very important. Okay, what do you mean by recession? What do you mean by slowdown? What is the difference between recession and slowdown? What is technical recession? What is stagflation? Very important, guys. And then, guys, what is important in this chapter is the recovery curves. Different types of recovery curves are there, sir. Like for example, V-shaped, U-shaped, K-shaped. Okay, among all these shapes, guys, K-shaped recovery is very important because it denotes what? Inequality, guys. Okay, in India, there has been concern that during the corona pandemic, there has been a K-shaped recovery. K-shaped recovery means what, guys? Rich becoming richer and the poor not recovering from the pandemic. There has been research by various studies, like for example, Oxfam report has pointed out that during the corona pandemic, what has happened is that inequality has increased. Inequality, again, a very important topic for this year. So guys, from the first chapter, guys, the topics which are important is the agri GDP and the GDP growth rate, then the base effect, very important, guys, and then very important is the stagflation, concept of stagflation, inflation plus the stagnation in the economy, guys, and then recovery curves. Then recovery curves, in out of all recovery curves, K-shaped recovery curve is very important, guys. So first topic is done, guys. You can please note down. Guys, you can please note down. Here I would like to point out one thing, that if you want to read these concepts, you can follow the Economy Optima notes. Economy Optima notes, you can go to the channel, Telegram channel, and you can get that. Okay, guys, very important. Okay, very important. Next, see what type of questions can come, or what is need to be read from this topic of employment and inflation and poverty, guys. Let us see what can come in this topic. So we know in the last 1 and 2 years, okay, unemployment is a very big concern in the economy. So unemployment is very important. In unemployment, what you need to read is a type of unemployment. What are the different types of unemployment? Okay, frictional unemployment, disguised unemployment. So there are various structural unemployment. So there are various types of unemployment, and then you need to know the rate of unemployment. The rate of unemployment, both the rate in the urban area and in the rate in the rural areas. Very important, guys. Very important, guys. And here you need to know some basic concepts about working age population, and then all those concepts related to employment and unemployment, guys. Okay, very important. I am noting down this, very important. Okay, very important. Then you need to prepare what? PLFS data. Okay, who brings out, okay, whenever you talk about prepare any survey, okay, who brings out, when was it started, okay, and the recent data and the recent observation you need to prepare, guys. Okay, then guys, what you need to prepare is poverty. Is very in news because of the corona pandemic, and in poverty, guys, what is important is the multi-dimensional poverty index. Very important. I am noting down here, very important, guys. After that, inflation has been the biggest concern for the Indian economy, and not just Indian economy but for the entire world economy. Inflation has been the biggest concern in the last couple of years, guys, particularly during the corona pandemic, and now it is rising. The inflation concern is rising throughout the world. So guys, inflation concept, I am expecting 2 questions on inflation concept. So what you need to prepare inflation? You need to prepare the types of inflation, demand pull inflation and cost push inflation, guys. Cost push inflation. Let me just tell you here, in India, the kind of inflation which we are facing right now is demand pull or cost push. Please write down in the comment box, what is it, demand pull or the cost push? Guys, it is cost push. Okay, it is cost push inflation because of the supply chain constraint, guys, okay, guys. Then what you need to prepare is the concept of imported inflation. See, guys, because of the rising commodity prices, particularly the agri commodities, because of the Ukraine crisis, okay, what is going on, guys, is that the prices of agri commodities, particularly we are dependent on imports of oil seeds and pulses from outside, and the prices of these commodities after the Ukraine crisis has been skyrocketing, which will lead to various rise in prices, particularly if you see in the oil seeds. Okay, the prices of oils, edible oils, are increasing in India, and that is leading to food inflation. Guys. So this is the concept of imported inflation. Here you can also talk about the rise in the crude oil prices. So both crude oil and edible oil prices are rising because of the Ukraine crisis. Guys, and that is leading to imported inflation. Very important concept of imported inflation, guys. You need to prepare this, very important, guys. Very important. Okay, then guys, what you need to prepare is CPI versus WPI. What is the basic difference between the CPI and WPI, guys? Here what you need to prepare is the observation by the economic survey. This year, the economic survey has observed that the WPI in India has been more than the CPI, and what are the reasons for the divergence between this WPI and CPI? Why WPI is more than the CPI, guys? And it is given in the economic survey, and I have included in my economic survey notes. You can refer my economic survey notes, guys. Okay, very important. See the problem, whatever resources you are following, be very careful, guys. Is the resource linking the basic concepts in the notes also or not? The basic problem with the current affair notes, at present in India is that they do not link to the basic concepts, and then what happens is that the candidate, while reading the current affairs, is not able to go to the core of the concepts. So I have made this Optima notes of economic survey, which links current affairs to the basic concept, because in UPSC what happens is that the inspiration is from the current affairs. However, the type of question which comes is a conceptual question rather than just a current affairs question, guys. So it is very important for you to revise all the basic concepts related to inflation. And here you should know what is CPI, who calculates CPI, what is WPI, who calculates CPI, WPI, what is the composition of CPI and WPI. Here you must be knowing that in CPI guys, services are included, whereas in WPI services are not included, guys. So very important divergence between CPI and WPI. I'm expecting a question on that. And then guys, Philip curve is very important, guys, this year. Philip curve is very important, guys. Relationship between employment and inflation, very important, guys. And then the concept of inequality, guys, very important, and I have linked it to the K-shaped recovery, guys, and the problem Gini coefficient and all that, everything related to inequality. I can ask a conceptual question: which of the following measures by the government can lead to decrease in inequality? Okay, and they'll give you 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, guys, so what you need is not just the current issues, but you need to understand the basic idea, basic concept behind these topics, guys, because questions in the UPSC will be conceptual and application based. Particularly in the economy, the questions are application based, guys. So I hope that this is clear, guys. So these are important. If I can tell you very important topic, okay, in this unemployment rate types are very important. Then guys, this PLFS data is very important. Then multi-dimensional poverty index is very important. Then inflation, guys, I cannot just emphasize more about this topic of inflation. Very important. I guess 2 questions are going to come from this demand pull and cost push inflation, and then WPI and CPI. Okay, 2 questions are going to come, guys. Please prepare it. Next, let us see what are the questions, what are the topics which can come from the topic of budgeting and the fiscal policy, guys. See, guys, we must be knowing that during recession, what kind of fiscal policy is suggested by Keynes? Okay, it is the expansionary fiscal policy. So types of fiscal policy is very important. Types of fiscal policy, guys, is very important. Okay, and what kind of fiscal policy we have to adopt during recession? Okay, this is very important. Okay, so then what is cyclical fiscal policy, what is counter cyclical fiscal policy? And then guys, we must be knowing this that there is a tussle between the center and the state government related to the taxes on the petroleum and diesel, guys. So here, guys, you need to know the basics of the fuel taxes and the various cess and the surcharges. What is the difference between the cess and a surcharge? Okay, what is a cess? Okay, and why there is so much controversy regarding cess? The basic idea is that the cess is not transferred. Okay, there is no division of cess between the center and the state. So that is the main issue here. Let us see what all question can come from the chapter of fiscal policy. You see here, capital expenditure. What is capital expenditure? What comes under capital expenditure? Guys, this year's budget is capital expenditure driven budget, guys. What is capital expenditure and what is the multiplier effect in the capital expenditure is very important. What is this multiplier effect? Very important. Coming to the indirect taxes, guys, GST Council. Recently, Honorable Supreme Court has observed something on GST Council, that GST Council recommendations are not binding. They are recommendatory in nature. So this is very important. GST Council, it is a constitutional body under Article 279A of the Constitution. Okay, guys, very important. The composition of the GST Council. Okay, the way of working of GST Council, very important. Okay, then e-way bill, compensation of GST, very important. GST input tax credit, very important. Then guys, let us see. Then guys, what is important is strategic disinvestment. And then guys, asset monetization. And last but not the least, the global minimum taxation. Which was recently approved by the world leaders. Okay guys, very important, global minimum taxation. So these are the topics which are important from the point of view of fiscal policy, guys. Fiscal policy, again let me just show you expansionary fiscal policy. Okay, then cyclical and counter cyclical fiscal policy, then fuel taxes, cess and surcharge, guys, and then what is capital expenditure, what is included in capital expenditure, what is multipliers effect, then the GST council and related issues, and then strategic disinvestment, asset monetization, and the global minimum taxation, guys. Very important. Out of this global minimum taxation and asset monetization, I'm expecting 2 questions, and then fuel taxes, I'm expecting 1 question on fuel taxes, guys. Let us see further what is important in the monetary policy. Let us see what is important in the monetary policy. In the monetary policy, guys, again very important section. Please revise all the monetary policy tool at the hands of the RBI. Okay, repo rate, reverse repo rate. Okay, repo rate, reverse repo rate, LTRO, VRR. Okay, then you see monetary policy transmission, then standing deposit facility, very important, in recently in news, standing deposit facility, then liquidity adjustment facility, then CRR, okay, liquidity corridor. Okay, these are all very important, and guys, this they can ask you, what will be the impact of the central bank digital currency? Very important. This has been covered by the RBI concept report on the central bank digital currency. Very important. Then guys, National Asset Reconstruction Company, also very important. Out of these topics, if I can choose the most important ones, is basically what I will choose is the topics related to repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR. Okay, what will be the impact in rise of repo rate? What will be the impact of fall in repo rate? All these things are very important. How RBI manages inflation, very important here. MPC, I am not including MPC because last year I guess there was a question on MPC, but MPC is very important, guys. MPC, okay, Monetary Policy Committee. Okay, so these are the topics which you need to prepare well. Okay, these are the topics, particularly you see this topics is very important, and then this topic is very important. Okay, you need to prepare it. Okay guys, let us see now from the banking sector. Small saving schemes and the priority sector lending is very important. Small saving scheme and the priority sector lending. Some fringe topics are also there, like neo banks. Okay, they can come, but chances are very less. But these are also some development which has happened in the banking sector, guys. Then capital market is very important this year. Guys. What is the difference between primary market and secondary market? What is the role of the SEBI? What is NSE? Okay, what are the different kinds of funding? Series A funding, Series B funding, Series C funding. What is seed money? What are the different types of investors? Angel investors, private equity investors, anchor investor, guys, very important, anchor investor. Okay, then guys, what are the different terminologies related to IPO, FPO, OFS, grey market? Very important, because this year a lot of IPOs have come. In the last 1 year, a lot of IPOs have come, and there was a lot of controversy regarding the pricing of the IPO, guys. Pricing of the IPO in the grey market. Okay, a lot of developments have taken place. You need to be very crystal clear in your mind what is the meaning of these terms. IPO, FPO, OFS, all these terms you need to be very clear. All these things I have covered in the Optima notes, guys, very in a conceptual manner. If you read it, no question. I repeat myself, no question. Okay, no question you will miss. Okay, no force on earth can prevent you from getting all the questions of economy right if you prepare all these topics properly from these Optima notes, guys. Let us see further. Insider trading and front running, very important. Insider trading and front running has been in news. Very important. You should know the basics of what is insider trading, what is front running. Okay guys, next, the most important topic this year is the external sector, guys. External sector, because of the Ukraine crisis, there has been challenges on the external sector front. Okay, you see, when the economic survey came out, okay, there was a mention in the economic survey that India's forex reserves are like booming, okay, booming. But suddenly what happened? Because of the Ukraine crisis, what happened? Okay, the trade deficit started to rise, and the current account deficit started to rise, and the forex reserves started to fall, guys. Very important development, guys. The external sector, very important. Here we need to prepare what is taper tantrum of America. Taper tantrum, Fed reserves, okay, taper tantrum. What is the impact of the taper tantrum? The tapering process of the Federal Reserve. Okay, the monetary quantitative easing was going on, and now they are tapering the money supply. They are tapering the money supply, guys. Very important. What will be the impact on India? Already FIIs are flowing out of India. Okay, are flowing out. The hot money is flowing out of India, and that is impacting the equity market. You must be already knowing that, guys. Next, you see rupee depreciation. What is the impact of rupee depreciation on importers, on exporters, on inflation? Guys, very important. Then you see current account deficit. Then exports are very important. This year, you know what happened? We have a target. We have a target of very high target of export, and we were able to export more than 400 billion. So that was a target which was achieved, and it was a great achievement by Indian economy. So exports, I am expecting question on exports, export trends, export schemes, and agri exports are very important. Agri exports are very important. Then forex reserves. What are the reasons of increasing forex reserves? What are the reasons for declining forex reserves? What is the impact of declining forex reserves? Everything is very important, guys. Then exchange rate is very important. Exchange rate is very important, guys. You need to prepare properly, conceptually. What is exchange rate? What is the impact of these exchange rate? Then RBI forex management and the sterilization. Okay, very important. Rupee sterilization, very again important. Then you see WTO, very important. Various subsidies, okay, amber box, green box, all these boxes are very important. And various, if you see various agreements, okay, particularly in WTO, agreement on agriculture, very important. Agreement on agriculture, very important. Bali agreement, very important. Peace clause, very important. Peace clause, very important, guys. Okay, and the MSP issue, very important. MSP issue, very important. 10% rule. Okay, you must be knowing that 10% rule. You must be knowing that. So very important. I would say this very important. Very important, guys. Next, if we see specific, sector specific, then agriculture sector is very important sector of the economy. Particularly, I told you agriculture sector is very important this year. Okay, here what you need to prepare is the wheat. Okay, you see recently India wanted to export wheat, then we banned the export wheat. Okay, very important. Wheat, edible oil. Edible oil, India is one of the largest importer of edible oil, very important edible oil. Then you see fertilizers, okay, types of fertilizers, pricing of fertilizers, import of fertilizers, okay, crop diversification, nano urea and WTO agreement on agriculture and subsidies, very important. Okay, so this chapter I would like to tell you, okay, I would like to tell you guys, this chapter is very important. This chapter you need to prepare it properly, you need to prepare it. 2 questions are going to come from this chapter. 2 questions are going to come, and if you take my intuition, if you go by my intuition, this WTO agreement on agriculture and subsidies, okay, there is 1 question coming from here and 1 question coming from fertilizers. 1 question coming from fertilizers, because edible oil, I guess they have asked already last year, but still they can ask on agri commodities. Okay, import and export of agri commodities, very important. Okay, coming to the infrastructure, guys, coming to the infrastructure sector, Gati Shakti is very important, and National Infrastructure Pipeline, very important. Gati Shakti, very important scheme on the economy, particularly the infrastructure front, very important. So question related to Gati Shakti can come, guys. Then there are some miscellaneous topics, okay, which are like, for example, you see this ONDC project, okay, then the digital and cryptocurrency. What is the digital currency? What is the cryptocurrency? Okay, then NFT, what is NFT? What is stable cryptocurrency? What is stable coins? Then you see National Bank for financing of infrastructure and development, and then oil bonds, So these are the topics from the economy sections, current affairs sections, but you need to prepare the basics of that, just not the current affairs. Here I would like to again repeat that please refer the Optima notes. They are the best notes in the country. I repeat, they are the best notes on economy in the entire country. You can have a look at it. It will really help you to solve any question on economy which comes from the economy section, guys. Let us see what questions can come from, what all you need to prepare from the economic survey, guys. Economic survey, there will be a lot of overlap. Okay, whatever topics which I have told you right now and in the economic survey, there will be a lot of overlap, guys. So please bear with me. Well, please bear with me. Let us see here. Okay. So in state of economy, first chapter, what is important? Sectoral trends, which I told you. Sectoral trends, agriculture. Sectoral trends of various sectors in the agri GDP is very important, guys. Then you see capital formation and aggregate demand. What is capital formation? This is very important. Gross capital formation, very important, guys. Okay. Next, you see what is barbell strategy. What is barbell strategy? What is agile approach? What is agile approach? What is high frequency indicators? What is high frequency indicators? Then there is an important scheme. Okay, emergency credit line guarantee scheme, very important. Emergency credit line guarantee scheme, very important for the MSME sector, guys. From the MSME sectors. Then there are various terms which are mentioned. Okay, in the economic survey, very important, like taper tantrum. These terms are very important. Taper tantrums, global financial crisis. Global financial crisis, very important. Okay, very important, guys. Then you see, okay, debt to GDP ratio. Debt to GDP ratio, guys, very important. The trend, what is the trend of the debt to GDP ratio, guys? Then stagflation, we have already discussed stagflation, very important. And what are the measures we can take to control this stagflation scenario? Then in fiscal policy, guys, various terminologies related to fiscal policy, like the fiscal deficit. Okay, then disinvestment, okay, and asset monetization, which I told you a lot of overlap will be there. The topics which we have discussed in the current affairs of economy and economics, a lot of overlap is there. So if you have read that properly, okay, you don't have to read it completely. You just need to read the topics which have not been covered in the current affairs, guys. Then 15th Finance Commission, capex expenditure and multiplier effect is very important, guys. Then you see in external sector, sir, again you see exports, current account deficit. Okay, various export schemes, forex reserves, FDI, FPI, and currency depreciation. Again, all these topics we have covered in the current affairs, guys. So these are again important topics in monetary policy, guys. Again, what are the various concept of money? Okay, money supply. Money supply is very important, and RBI measures to control liquidity, LTRO, GSAP, VRR, LAF, very important. Then in money market, guys, this treasury bill, okay, commercial papers, all these are very important. And then banking terms, CRAR is very important. Okay, CRAR is very important. Then you see inflation, guys, very important. Inflation, I told you, divergence between WPI and CPI, it is given in the economic survey. I am expecting one question on that. Then what is core inflation? How RBI controls inflation? Through repo rate. Okay, through repo rate, CRR. Okay, OMO, all that is very important. Then cost push inflation and demand pull inflation, very important. Cost push and demand pull inflation. You see, all these topics we have discussed in the first part of the current affairs on the economy, guys. As far as sustainable development, very important chapter in the economic survey. I am expecting one question to come from here. Forest survey is very important. Plastic waste management is very important. Groundwater is very important. Groundwater is important because this year's World Water Day theme was groundwater. So very important, groundwater. Then climate change action program. Okay, then Reserve Bank of India has set up a sustainability finance group under the Department of Regulation. Very important, sustainability finance group. They can ask you which organization has set up sustainability finance group. Okay, then what is lifestyle for environment, given by Mr. Modi, okay, at the COP. And then you see infrastructure for resilient island state, IRIS, in an initiative by India with some other countries. And another initiative, Lead IT, another initiative of India. These are regarding climate change. Both are initiatives of India in collaboration of some countries. And international organizations. You need to know which are these international countries and international organizations. Lead IT and IRIS, very important. Then in agriculture and food management, guys, I told you contribution of agriculture sector, edible oil, MSP, okay, crop diversification, very important. Then you see industry and infrastructure, okay, some basic trends, okay, national infrastructure pipeline, very important. In services, guys, what is FDI trend? What are different types of startups? Different types of startup funding. We have already done startup funding when we are discussing the topics of economy, okay, from the current affairs. Then in social service sector, okay, various schemes are important, particularly schemes related to the employment sector. Okay, employment sector, unorganized sector, very important, MSME sector, very important. So I am expecting one question on the unorganized workers. Okay, scheme for unorganized workers, very important. I am expecting one question on that. Okay, please prepare that properly. Please refer this chapter on economic survey, very important. Okay, unemployment, employment and schemes related to that, unorganized and organized sector, very very important. Okay, as far as budget is concerned, guys, you need to prepare, you need to know the terms. Okay, what is whole of government approach, what is crowding in of investment, what is crowding out of investment, crowding in and crowding out of investment, what is this PM Gati Shakti scheme, then what is Kavach, very very important, Kavach, this has been asked in the RBI exam also. Then what is natural farming and the schemes related to natural farming, and then what is the scheme on Kisan drone. So guys, if you want to prepare these topics, if you have already made notes on that, you can refer that, or you can also refer the Optima notes. See, there are some other schemes also, MSME schemes, Udyam, E-Shram Portal, ASEEM, ECA, LGS, CGTMSE and RAM. All are these MSME schemes. Then there is Desh Portal, PM E-Vidya, National Digital Health Mission and Surety Bonds. So these are some of the other topics of budget which are important. Surety Bonds, National Digital Health Mission, PM E-Vidya, Desh Portal and MSME schemes. Udyam Portal, sir, it is. Okay, so guys, so if you want this notes, you can refer this Optima notes, and if you want to practice what type of question can come on demand pull inflation, what type of question can come on cost push inflation, what type of question can come on WPI and CPI divergence, what kind of question can come on agriculture GDP trend, what kind of questions can come from the capital market, what kind of questions can come from the startup funding. If you want these questions, guys, you can use this 1400 questions. Okay, which I have prepared. In that 1400 questions, I have prepared 100 top economic questions, plus there are some 50 questions in the FLTs, 7 FLTs, 15 questions, so there are around 50 to 55 questions on the FLTs also, and these 100 top economic questions, I can guarantee you, I can give you my assurance that if you properly prepare these topics and if you properly solve these 100 questions on economy and this FLT questions, guys, no question can come outside these topics. So best of luck, guys. Please like it. If you like my discussion on these important topics, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel and please share with your friends. Thank you, friends.